question and response. The honourable member for Central Nova.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank my colleague for his remarks. I'd like to put a similar question to him that I did to the previous speaker. I know during the committee studies, the member actually put forward an amendment to ensure that parts of British Columbia weren't necessarily having their resources trapped because of certain exclusion zones where competition does exist. Under the previous iteration of transportation legislation involving freight rail, the extended interswitching only applied for 160 kilometres and only applied in the context of the Western Canadian grain industry. Knowing that parts of the province that this member represents could be unlocked by this bill, I'm wondering if he could comment on the importance of long-haul interswitching that is quite different and, in my opinion, more favourable for the transportation sector in Canada.
The honourable member for Fleetwood Port Kells.
Well, simply put, the measures in C-49 do two things. First of all, it extends the limit to 1,200 kilometres, which opens up the opportunity for a shipper who would otherwise be captive to use the rail line that's there, but hand off to another company that will give them a better rate or better service. In addition to that, while the original Fair Rail for Grain Act focused on the prairies and a 160-kilometre limit to allow grain to move more effectively, C-49 opens it up to lumber producers, mines. Anybody who needs to ship anything by rail will have more access to competitive rates. The amendment that we brought in opens up specifically areas of northern and southeastern British Columbia, as well as northern Quebec, to these better rates.
Resuming debate.